Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nikki Wright, and I'm a part of the I-405 Improvement Project Community Outreach Team. Thank you for joining us today to discuss upcoming activities at the Newland Street Bridge. I'm here with Chris Buckley, and we'll be providing a brief update on the project, and then we'll focus on the Newland Bridge. We'd also like to introduce Gia Lee, who will be interpreting this entire meeting live in Vietnamese. Gia?
Hello, everyone. I'm Gia Lee. I will be interpreting the entire meeting, including the question and answer portion after the presentation. If you wish to listen to this meeting in Vietnamese, click on the interpretation icon at the bottom of your screen and choose Vietnamese. You can also toggle back to the English mode at any time. Xin chào mọi người, tôi là Gia Lý. Tôi sẽ là thông dịch viên cho buổi thuyết trình hôm nay và có thể nếu quý vị có những câu hỏi gì thì quý vị có thể viết vào trong cái box là Q&A. Và nếu quý vị muốn nghe bằng tiếng Việt thì xin hãy bấm qua cái nút Vietnamese, cái kênh Việt Nam ở phía dưới. Và nếu quý vị muốn chuyển qua tiếng Anh lúc nào thì cũng được. Và nếu quý vị có những câu hỏi gì giống tôi hồi nãy nói thì quý vị có thể đánh máy vào cái Q&A box ở phía dưới. Và nếu quý vị có những câu hỏi tiếng Việt Xin cứ đánh máy vô đó. Chúng tôi sẽ có người thông dịch đọc lên, tôi sẽ đọc lên tiếng Việt và sau đó sẽ có người đánh máy thêm cho quý vị ở phía sau. Và cảm ơn quý vị đã tham gia chúng tôi hôm nay. Xin hãy nhớ là hãy nhìn cái chữ tiếng Việt Vietnamese ở phía dưới của cái màn hình để nghe tiếng Việt, tiếp tục nghe tiếng Việt. Cảm ơn Nikki.
Okay, thank you. So we'll just wait for that interpreter mode to go on, and we're good. All right, now a few minutes of housekeeping items. After the presentation, we'll have a Q&A session where the participants will have an opportunity to ask questions. If you wish to ask a question during the Q&A portion, please click on Q&A and type your question and then click send. For those that may be joining us by phone, please dial *9 from your phone to virtually raise your hand, and we will call on the caller using the last 4 digits of the phone number. The caller will then hear a message that it's their turn to ask a question, and you may press *6 to unmute yourself. We also have some resources for you, including the project fact sheet, our bridge map and fast facts, the Newland Bridge FAQ, our Express Lanes FAQ, and the Express Lanes access map. So we've included those and the detour map for the upcoming closure of the bridge in the link for these documents in the chat. So you can download those at any time during the presentation. We'll also be sending a link in the chat to sign up for project alerts. You can sign up for project-wide alerts or just bridge-specific alerts. And we'll be conducting a few instant polls during the presentation, so please participate in those when you see them pop up. And we'll be sending out an electronic survey after the meeting as well. We'd really appreciate your feedback. Now, we'd like to acknowledge additional team members who are also working in the background to keep the webinar running very smoothly. They are Joey Fernandez, Asia Stansell, Jessica Stock, and Anna Finlay. They'll be managing questions, doing the research for some of the questions that we may not be able to answer on the spot with some of the members of our technical teams and communicating with the audience via the chat box. In addition, Vivian Liu will be assisting Gia with the Vietnamese interpretation. As a reminder, if you wish to listen to this meeting in Vietnamese, please click on the interpretation icon at the bottom of your screen and choose Vietnamese. It's the little globe icon. And you can toggle back to English mode at any time for that. Finally, we want to let you know that this meeting is being recorded and it will be available by tomorrow afternoon from our project website, octa.net/405improvement. So if you know someone that wasn't able to join us tonight, please let them know that the recording is available on our website and they can check out the video there. So let's do our first 2 polls. If you would please take a moment to participate. We'd like to know how you found out about this webinar. The first poll that you are going to see on your screen is in Vietnamese. And then in a few short moments, we'll be launching the same question in English. right. We'll give it a few more minutes here for some people to fill that out. Thank you. All right. And we will go ahead and do our English poll. Then we'll get started. Lots of answers coming in. Thank you. Looks like most people heard about us through email, which is great. All right. I think that's
Flyers
about
out
it.
there as well.
And I'll hand it over to Chris.
All right. Thank
Let
you,
me
Nikki.
Let me put the PowerPoint on for you real
Yep.
quick here.
You got it. There we go. Perfect. Thank you. Let's go ahead and move to slide 2 right away. Excellent. So I'm going to give you a brief overview of the project, status update on the project, and then we'll talk more about what's coming up at Newland Street. So in this slide on the left, you can see the project limits are from about State Route 73 in Costa Mesa to Interstate 605 in Seal Beach. That's a length of about 16 miles. On the right, you'll see that one regular lane will be added in each direction of the 405, and that's consistent with Measure M, and that's shown in yellow. And then an additional lane will be added in each direction that will combine with the existing carpool lane to provide dual express lanes, and those will go from State Route 73 to Interstate 605, and those are shown in green. On this next slide, you can see some of the major features of the project. We are replacing 18 bridges as part of the project, widening 4 others, and constructing a new connector for the express lanes between State Route 73 and Interstate 405, so at the south end of the project. We're also building more than 150 walls throughout the project area, and there will be new bike lanes and sidewalks on all of the replaced bridges. The overall cost of the project is approximately $2.08 billion. Next slide. So we're really excited to share that the project is a little over 60% complete, and more than 1,000 workers are involved in the project each day. These next several slides show construction progress out on the project. So on this slide, you can see the first of 3 bridges that were completed and open to traffic. Slater is shown on the left, Bouchard is shown in the upper right, and McFadden is shown in the lower right. Next slide. This one shows more completed bridges, with the Talbot Bridge on the upper left, the Magnolia Bridge below that, and then the Edwards Bridge on the right. Edwards opened in September, our most recent bridge opening, prior to Edinger's opening yesterday. So let's see. Slide 6, this slide, the photo on the left shows reconstruction of the Heil pedestrian overcrossing. This is really starting to come together. You can see these arches. These will all be covered, of course, in fencing, so nobody will be able to fall off the bridge, get out of the bridge there like that. This pedestrian overcrossing is set to be completed and open to pedestrians by the end of this month. The photo on the right shows the reconstruction of the Edinger Avenue Bridge, which, as I mentioned just now, opened to traffic Wednesday morning. Slide 7 on this one, on the left is a view of the first half of the new Westminster Boulevard Bridge. And right now at Westminster, crews are installing falsework for the second half of the bridge. Falsework is that temporary structure that supports the bridge while it is being constructed. The second phase of the Westminster Bridge is anticipated to be completed in summer 2022, next summer. On the right, crews are pouring concrete for the second half of the new Bolsa Chica Road Bridge, which that bridge is nearing the end of construction. It's anticipated to fully open to traffic in about mid-December, along with the southbound Bolsa Chica ramps. There is still some street restoration, traffic signal, sidewalk, and median work that is anticipated to take place through early 2022 there. All right, on this slide, the image on the left shows the completed first half of the Bolsa Avenue Bridge. If you drive this area, you've probably noticed that the realigned northbound loop off-ramp just opened as well. That's great news for the community. We expect intermittent closures of that ramp in the future to wrap up work there. Meanwhile, crews continue working on the second phase of that bridge, which is anticipated to fully open to traffic in late 2022 or early 2023. The photo on the right is of Beach Boulevard. The widened freeway in this area required building new on-ramp structures in both directions. Those structures are mostly done, as is the new intersection where the southbound ramps meet Center Avenue by Bellaterra there. Final paving activities for the northbound ramps, so on the northbound side, should be done in early 2022. Next slide. This slide shows in green the 7 bridge replacements that are currently open to traffic. By the end of this year, we anticipate having another 2 bridges open, Bolsa Chica and Heil, as I mentioned, making it 9 of 18 bridge replacements fully open to traffic. As you can see, we have a significant number of bridges still under construction, as shown in orange, and Newland is next, which Nick is going to talk a little bit about right now. Before that, though, we want to remind the audience members, if you wish to listen to this meeting in Vietnamese, click on the interpretation icon at the bottom of your screen and choose Vietnamese, that little globe. You can always toggle back to English mode at any time. Nikki.
Right, thank you, Chris. So now we'd like to focus on the Newland Bridge. The bridge will be closed completely on the morning of December 6th, and it will take approximately 18 months to rebuild. We know it's inconvenient to have a bridge completely closed like this, so we really appreciate the community's patience. We'll talk about the approved detours in a couple of minutes. Once the bridge is closed, pre-demolition activities will begin almost immediately. That includes concrete removal and removing what is known as the lost deck, as well as removal work at the abutments or the sloped sides of the structure that hold up the bridge. Demolition of the bridge spans over the freeway is set for December 10th and 11th and will require full freeway closures. We'll provide additional details about those closures in upcoming alerts. Demolition activities will continue for several weeks during the day and at night. And generally day shift hours are 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. with crews mobilizing their equipment as early as 6 a.m. The night shift hours are 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. and typically night work consists of removing demolished materials, which requires lane closures. And Caltrans generally only allows lane closures at night because of traffic volumes being lower than during the day. Now a little bit about construction of the new bridge. For the first few months, crews will construct the foundation, which includes shoring activities, excavation and earthwork, and placing settlement fill at the abutments. This involves placing large piles of dirt where the abutments will go to compress the soil in those areas, ensuring that once the bridge is constructed, it doesn't settle any further. So settlement is anticipated to take about 3 months. You really won't see a lot of activity in this area during that time. We often get a lot of questions about this because it seems like work stops, but that's the reason why. Then in spring of next year, pile driving is scheduled for the foundation of the abutments. And after that is done, crews will construct the abutments and the retaining walls that form part of the bridge's substructure. And that work will take place through mid-2022. Then in late summer, crews will complete demolition of the center columns and rebuild those. And that will complete the bridge's substructure. This is then followed by the superstructure work. So installing false work, the steel and timber structures put in place to hold up the bridge until it's strong enough to support itself. And crews will then install forms and steel rebar for the superstructure and then pour the concrete to create the new bridge and the bridge deck. Once that's done, utility lines for water, electric service, and digital communications will be installed through the bridge. All of this work is expected to be completed by spring 2023. Next, crews will work on the approaches to the bridge, which tie it into the existing roadway. And that's followed by civil work on the bridge, which includes concrete, barrier rail, fencing, sidewalks, monuments, and then the median. And finally, crews will perform electrical work and striping activities to prepare for opening the bridge, which we are targeting for mid-2023. When the bridge is completed, there will be 4 lanes total, which is an additional lane in each direction. And we are adding a sidewalk in the northbound direction. Right now, it only exists on the southbound side. And there are currently no bike lanes, so we are happy to be adding those. So those are some great enhancements and benefits that we worked with the city on. All right, now let's talk about the detours to get around the Newland Bridge closure. We've included a link to this map in the chat so you can download it. The bridge will be closed between Edinger Avenue at the north end and just north of Berry Place at the south end. The driveway to the residential neighborhoods along Newland Street will remain open during construction. As you can see on this map, the detours in green are for cars, pedestrians, and bicyclists, which is Newland to Edinger to Beach to Heil and vice versa. And remember, just as Chris mentioned before, Edinger is now open and the Heil pedestrian bridge is expected to open later this month. For large trucks, the detour is Newland to Edinger to Magnolia to Warner and vice versa. The detour routes for northbound and southbound Newland will add about a mile for travel distance for motorists and are expected to add a maximum of 4 minutes to your travel time. For pedestrians and bicyclists, the added travel distance will also be about a mile, which adds about 20 minutes of travel time for pedestrians and about 5 minutes for cyclists. The traffic analysis evaluated existing conditions and available capacities of the roadways used for the detour routes. It looked at assumed detour volumes and trip distribution, which means what approved detour routes motorists are most likely to take. And then it showed that these routes can handle the detour traffic, though service won't be perfect. But it's worth mentioning that the signal timing and configuration will be adjusted at several intersections to ensure traffic flow is the best it can be along these detour routes. And the contractor is required to monitor and evaluate traffic at these major intersections and make any necessary adjustments in coordination with the cities to mitigate any issues that come up. Meanwhile, OCTA also has its own team that will be out there monitoring the situation along with the city.
Great, a lot of information out there. Thank you, Nikki. And we're happy to go over any of that in the Q&A session if people didn't catch it. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about our outreach strategies. As you can see from this slide, we connect with the community in a number of ways, both in print and electronically. For major activities like bridge demolition and pile driving, we canvass flyers to addresses within about a half mile of the bridge. We also send out regular updates by email and through text and automated call alerts. You can sign up for those updates, both project-wide and bridge-specific, using the links in the chat. These email updates are a quick and efficient tool to alert the community to new information on activities and schedule updates. We also post frequently on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can find closure and detour information on our interactive map at octa.net/405map. That same information is also available on the navigation app Waze. And finally, while we like in-person discussions for major updates like this, we will be continuing to meet virtually with the community for the time being. Next slide. So I'll wrap up the presentation with this slide. It shows all of the ways that you can reach us to get information about the project. If you have a specific question or concern, you can call our project helplines or email us at 405project@octa.net. If we don't have an answer for you, we will work with our colleagues on the technical team to get one for you. All right, now we've got a couple of polls. So please take a moment for our next one. It'll be in the poll section. What is the best way for you to get construction updates? That's great. Good to see all the participation.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
Very helpful. We'll give that poll a couple more seconds. There we go. All right, I think that's good. All right, now we'd also like to hear any feedback you have about whether you found it helpful to have this meeting translated. We'll be putting up this question separately in Vietnamese and then in English.
All right. Gia, how's it going? Get a thumbs up if it's going good. Okay, great.
Excellent. It looks like there we go.
Great. Okay, one more answer there. We're seeing the answers live here, so I think that might be about it. Thank you, everyone. Okay,
Very much appreciated.
yes. So with that, let's begin the Q&A portion of the meeting. And just a reminder for those audience members who are listening to this meeting in Vietnamese, you may type your questions in the Q&A and Chris and I will address the questions in order that they come in. And our team members, Gia and Vivian, will monitor the questions and translate. Okay, let me get the Q&A here. So, Andrew, thank you for joining us. What is the new traffic signal of Edinger and Beach Boulevard? And then also Andrew asked, is Edinger Bridge open? Yes, it opened yesterday morning. So we're happy to say that. And for the traffic signal, Chris, are you able to take that one?
Yes, let me take a look here.
And pull up our map on the back end, take a peek.
Oh, this was Andrew Chuang's question about the traffic signal.
Yes.
And I don't see it here. Hang on a sec. There it is. Where's the new traffic signal of Edinger and Beach Boulevard? It is there. As far as I know, Edinger coming to Beach Boulevard, they've been constructing that signal. There may be a little bit more signal work to do, a little bit more. I know we have what we call a punch list, sort of a list of items that have to be worked on once we open a bridge. We talk about bridges in terms of being fully open to traffic, but there is always remaining activity to do.
All right, thank you. And just a reminder, please put your questions in the Q&A box, and that's where we will see them and be able to answer them. Stephanie had a request that we email her some information that's part of the environmental document, and specifically would like to know what noise related measures are taken to protect those that are closest to the freeway, which is a great question. I think we want to address that here because I'm sure some other people might have that question. What are the loudest hours of the day the activities will take place? Or what are the hours of the day that the loudest activities will take place? And as far as who do we contact related to noise, that would be our team. So you can email us or reach out to us in any of these that you see on your screen as part of the presentation, any of those methods. Please reach out to us as far as noise. The loudest activities we anticipate to happen during the day, daytime hours, between 7 and 4 There is night work that will occur. We do try to be very conscious with the contractor on the noise levels of nighttime work, because there are so many neighbors that live so close to the freeway. They do noise monitoring as part of the project, and those noise monitors are taking levels that they cannot exceed decibels of 86 within 50 feet of the work. Is that correct, Chris?
86.
Yeah,
Right. So
within
86
50 feet.
decibels within 50 feet.
Yes. So we
So
would be happy. Oh, good.
Yeah, these are, and you'll see this in our FAQ about the bridge. There are very clear guidelines that Caltrans has in place, and the contractor is required to follow those. When it comes to, I think you requested, email me the mitigation measures related to noise committed to in the EIR. Anything related to the EIR, that process was led by Caltrans. So we will direct you to Caltrans District 12. It's easy to find contact information for them, and just request a copy of either this section that you're looking for, or if you want the entire EIR, they will upload it to a server, an FTP server, and into the cloud, as it were, and you'll be able to download it from there. Nikki, I know you talked about the loudest activities. I think one of the loudest ones, Stephanie, is going to be the demolition, right? Right now that's scheduled for a couple of nights, as Nikki mentioned, and that we know is loud and can be, some people view it as an event that they want to partake in, if you will, and watch. Others are not interested in that. If this is something that you have concerns about, being able to sleep through the night on the demolition nights, we are happy to provide a temporary lodging. So we can provide you a night or two of temporary lodging at a nearby hotel. We have pre-existing, the contractor has pre-existing agreements with local hotels. So that's always a possibility.
Yes, thank you. And just confirming from some of the team members working on the back end, the signal is there at Edinger and Beach. This was for Andrew's question, the very first question. Just like you said, Chris, some work is left, but it's still in operation. Okay, next question, and we're answering these questions in order that they come in. So thanks for your patience. We will get to all the questions. And see, I'm not sure that I understand your question, Sean, about Newland Street house, the house that's set to close. So if you could maybe just send in another question in the Q&A to clarify, that would be great. And Janine had some concerns about, noise being so close to the freeway, and she has several pets. What will be in place to limit the noise? So as we mentioned, we are doing noise monitoring. And then as Chris just mentioned, there are options should the demolition that's taking place the weekend of the 10th or 11th, be something that you are very concerned about. Please contact us, and we have your email here, and we're happy to reach out to you as well, should you have any further questions.
I'm just going to jump in, Nikki. I know you talked a little bit about noise. And just to reiterate some of the things that you said, of course, we have the demolition. The audience members may recall that you said demolition continues for several weeks. So the first major nights of demolition, they will take down the bridge spans over the freeway, right? So they'll basically be demolishing the part you drive on. But still left behind will be the center columns and some miscellaneous stuff that may still require demolition over the following weeks. Sometimes that work will be done during the daytime because it can be done behind concrete barriers, right? Safety K-rail barriers. Other times they may have to close lanes to do that demolition. And that can only be done at night. As Nikki mentioned, Caltrans is very strict about allowing daytime lane closures. It has to be really special circumstances. So demolition is one thing. Pile driving is the other thing. Nikki, I think has talked about that. There's no sort of avoiding that, but that is daytime work. And that is sort of a constant thumping. The other sort of big thing that we've noticed that happens is vibratory compaction. That's where machines are, vibrating and compacting slopes and just earth throughout there, and that can be both noisy and you feel the vibration too. So those are probably the biggest issues, I'd say. Other noise is going to be standard construction noise. So there will be work at night because the goal is to make sure this bridge gets completed on time. And at night and during the daytime, you have trucks that are backing up, and when they do back up, they have those backup alarms. So we mentioned that on the FAQ document. They're required to have those alarms. There's no way to turn them off. They're not allowed to turn them off. So that is a constant sort of noise out there as well. But let us know if you're having some issues, and we can figure out how to get you a better respite from that. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Tim had the next question. Has consideration been made for using Heil during the school year? Yes, in fact, when Heil first was taken down, we had shuttle service for I think it was Stacy Middle School, a local school. We worked very closely with the school districts in the area in general for all bridges, but for Heil. And we had provided a shuttle for the students that regularly used Heil to get to and from school. I believe that I'm getting confirmation from the team in the background, but we are continuing to, and it was Vista View Middle School, thank you, that we continue to coordinate with the schools and their needs. And it was just for that 1 year. And I think that they are doing offsite construction so that they're using different school sites right now, and they did not need the shuttle. So we will continue to coordinate with the school districts to make sure that is still the case. We know that things change, but it will be opening soon, so it will be available for them to use very, very soon.
The next question is from Stephanie. She's also asking for the vibration mitigation measures as well. So again, all of that is going to be in the EIR. There will be, if there are any impacts, right? If we always encourage residents and business owners to take pictures, right? So, take pictures before demolition, take pictures now, right? So you know what you've got. And then you've got that as sort of valid proof. You want to make sure they're time-stamped. And once you have that information, or you can do a video, whatever works for you. Once you have that information, you can you have that as a reference point in the baseline. And if at some point during the process of constructing this bridge, you believe that you've incurred property damage as a result of the construction, you contact us and we will facilitate with the contractor the claims process. We don't get involved in that process. We don't get involved in the investigation. That is, OCTA does not get involved in the investigation or the determination of a claim, but we facilitate getting that over to OC-405 and making sure that they're staying on top of it, if you will.
All right, thank you. Next question is from Deborah. Are there any special considerations to protect the level of dust for us local homeowners? So yes, that's something that's also monitored by our inspectors and the project team. Should you have any issues, please call us or email us at any time so that we can go check it out and address it. All right. Next question is from Edmund. We cannot copy paste the FAQ links provided in the chat. We will work on reposting those. Yes. So we'll have the team on the back end repost, and then we will also be sending the FAQ links in the survey and recording email that we will be sending out to our databases, our Newland database. So please sign up if you're not already getting the emails there. All right. Next question is from Tom. And when will the Warner Bridge open? So the Warner Bridge actually closed this past summer, and we anticipate that it will be opening summer 2023.
I just want to step back and reiterate what you said, Nikki, the importance of signing up for the Newland Bridge specific database. We like to have people hear about the entire project, but we also have carved some things out and made, we send out alerts related to specific bridges depending on what's going on. So you may be interested in Newland, you may be interested in finding out what's going to happen with Beach, any number of bridges. So it's always good to sign up for the bridge specific email alerts that you're interested in, as well as the overall alert. And that's important. There oftentimes is not a lot of overlap between those two. So you want to make sure you get the information in both.
Thank you. Yes. All right, next question is from Mark. Is the signal timing going to be adjusted at Edinger and Beach? So yes, we do have, we work with the city very closely to adjust the signal timings when needed to make sure that they can accommodate the detours, which is part, the Edinger and Beach are detours for this Newland closure. And we will continue to monitor. It's not just something we adjust and then leave the area. So our team, along with the contractor, with the help of the city, we all stay in communication, monitor the traffic, make adjustments where needed. And if you see something out there that maybe we didn't catch, we would be happy to hear from you. Please email us or call us. Let us know if maybe perhaps you see something that could be adjusted even further, and we can take a look.
All right, I'll take this next question from Karen Spain. It says, she's asking, is the distance between the north and southbound lanes on Newland, this would be the new bridge, is it going to be greater than that on McFadden? And I think what you're talking about there is the median area. And on McFadden, it's painted. I believe it's actually not actually a median on McFadden. I know you're concerned about the safety there. On Newland, I believe there will be even a raised median. I think I'd like to check that with our technical team, but I believe there will be an actual raised median on Newland. Not positive though. It may just be painted, but either way, there will be a median.
All right, and we're just gonna pause for a few seconds to let our translator folks catch up here. And we are answering questions in the order that they came in, so thank you for your patience. All right. I see Gia's smiling and ready, so we're gonna move to the next one. Okay, the next one is from Sean. You had a question earlier. So when crews shifted traffic to the new Brookhurst Street Bridge.
The earlier question, Nikki, was about the Newland Street closure.
Okay.
So, I'm still not sure if we've got it. Maybe Sean, if you could type out the full question, yes, that would help us.
Okay. So Jerry has the next question. Now that the Edinger Bridge is complete, when will any damages incurred during the removal of the vegetation on the northbound side of Edinger to my block wall be repaired? Jerry, if you could actually email us, that would be really helpful. If you could send us your address, any pictures, and we can share that with the construction team, and we can go out and assess that. If there is a need for a claim to be pursued, we can certainly help you facilitate the claims process and help you put in a claim with the contractor.
This next one is from Janine again. She mentioned that we're offering temporary lodging, but she would need a place for her animals too. Janine, you'd have to give us a call. We can talk that through. Generally speaking, though, we do not have accommodations for animals. But give us a call and we can talk that through. Send an email.
Yes. And some information from our technical team. It is for the median for Newland. It looks like it's a 4-foot painted median.
Painted median, so not a raised median. Okay. It would be good. Can we check McFadden as well?
All right. Okay. They're checking on that for us. And just giving a few minutes for everyone to catch up. The next question is from Andrew. Is the Euclid Street Bridge completed? I don't believe that it is completed yet. What we're doing in the Euclid area over the Santa Ana River drainage and wash area is that we're widening the 405, and that kind of covers where Euclid is as well. Euclid, of course, has some on and off ramps, and I believe we're still working in that area, but I believe that the freeway widening is pretty close to being done. That's over near the Euclid ramps and over the Santa Ana River.
Yeah, I think that's correct, Nikki. Those lanes aren't available yet. They aren't open yet, though. But we're closing in on that activity there in that area.
Yes.
I'm going to take Hung's question. It's also 2 down below there. It says it gives his address on Daisy and says the exit north of Magnolia is higher than my roof line. And the question is, can you extend the wall to the end of the exit? And I would imagine that's, I think we're talking about Magnolia to Brookhurst there. I'm gonna have to look at a map really quick. But the construction has been completed in that area. There are no plans to extend that wall. I believe talking about it's a sound wall that was reconstructed in there. All that work has been completed as is.
Okay. Thank you. And little information from our team, McFadden will also be a painted median as well.
It is a painted median.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next question is from Ron. Are there plans for a sound wall on the north side of the 405 between Magnolia and Beach Boulevard? So we can go ahead and
that work has already been done. That area is completed. So I'm just looking at the map really quickly on that.
Thank you.
Yes, right. Yeah, so Magnolia along to Beach Boulevard, that work has been completed. There may be some additional work around Newland itself. We'll take a look at that, or we'll ask our technical team if there are any sound walls over the, it'd be on the freeway beneath Newland, and also over the Garden Grove channel there, the East Garden Grove channel. But there are no more walls coming along the on-ramp from Magnolia to northbound Beach, and I mean to northbound 405 and all the way up to Beach. The wall work has been completed there, and the wall work from the Beach off-ramp, the northbound off-ramp to Beach Boulevard all the way up to Beach Boulevard itself, that wall work is done as well.
All right. Just taking a beat here for everyone to catch up. Thank you. We're answering questions in the order that they came in, so thank you so much for your patience. Okay, I see Gia smiling, so we're gonna move on. Will there be any cameras on the Heil footbridge for safety? That's a really good question. I actually don't know that. Do you know the answer to that, Chris?
I do not. I've not heard of any cameras being installed as part of that. There will be lighting, of course, but I do not believe there will be cameras installed.
I'm guessing if that does occur in the future at some point, it would be something that the city would include, since it's a city-owned bridge once we're done building it.
I'm going to take these next several questions.
Sure.
These are from Sean. So why was the Edinger Avenue Bridge opened before the Newland Street Bridge closed? That was a key requirement of closing Newland. The Edinger Avenue is part of the detour, if I'm not mistaken, and we wouldn't be able to close Newland without opening that first. Again, we open bridges, they're fully open to traffic. They're not necessarily completed. They're activities, they're monuments, for example, on each end of the bridge, and they still work on those sorts of things. So the next question, the next two questions that Sean has, why is the Warner Avenue Bridge closed for 2 years? And why couldn't the Warner Avenue Bridge be opened during construction? The answers for those two, the answer is related. The purpose of Warner was initially a 2-stage bridge being demolished and reconstructed in 2 stages, and that typically allows traffic to continue using the bridge just off to one side. However, the length of time that it would take to do that would put us in, because of Warner, which is set to open in mid-2023, it would take longer than we have in terms of the project schedule. So we worked with the city of Fountain Valley and surrounding cities to mitigate that schedule impact, and doing it in 1 stage, and that also allowed us to start it sooner, and doing it in 1 stage reduces the amount of time, and I think it's actually about 23 months, so close to 2 years though. But that's the reason it is to get finished in that city, in the city of Fountain Valley, as soon as possible, right? And be out of there and ensure that we maintain our project schedule.
Right. Thank you, Chris. We know it's difficult to have all the bridges closed that are closed, and that they're sometimes consecutive. So thank you for bearing with us. Hopefully the information you receive from us is helpful, and that's why we encourage you to sign up for our project alerts and use Waze so that you can get the latest and greatest from us. The next question, I'll pause just for a second so Gia can catch up for us. All right. Thank you. All right. Next question is from John. Can you tell me when the Ward Bridge will be opened? And that is anticipated to open winter 2022. They are going to be starting pile driving in the center median for the Ward Bridge soon. So lots of work that's happened and that will continue to occur to bring that bridge back up and running for the community. Let's see. And the next question is from Sue. No worries if you missed the beginning. Just a reminder too, this whole meeting is recorded. So if you need to go back and watch anything or share with your neighbors and friends, please do that. It'll be available on our website tomorrow afternoon. But Sue's question, the Edinger Bridge was closer to 14 to 15 months for a larger bridge. So why is the Newland Bridge going to take 18 months? So the Edinger Bridge was about 18 months from start to finish completely. And the reason why the Newland Bridge is also taking about 18 months is that there is 2 channels underneath the bridge. The Garden Grove channel is one of them that we did start work on earlier this year, I believe, if not last year, that we needed to do some work on before we worked on the actual bridge. So that makes it a little bit difficult to construct, to have those 2 channels underneath. Just looking at some background information from our amazing technical team that's helping us answer questions. So that is why. Chris, do you know of anything else?
No.
Okay.
Can you repeat Sue's question for Asia so we
Yes.
translate it correctly?
Absolutely. Sue was asking, let me scroll here. Why is the Newland Bridge taking 18 months when the Edinger Bridge seemed to take a shorter period of time, even though it was larger, but it is going to be about the same time?
I think it's important to note too that I was looking back at our data, and it looks like Edinger did start in September. So September, October, November, we will probably, I think Sue's right, about 15 months or so. It's important to remember that the contractor's always looking for opportunities to accelerate the schedule. So Newland, if you recall the map that we have, Newland is shown in red, and it was expected to start construction in 2022, right? So next year, in the first part of next year. However, that's being able to be pulled up because Edinger was done sooner, right? So they've been swift, and we're always looking for opportunities to do that because you can never tell what you're dealing with out on a construction project. There are site conditions that might be an issue. Weather impacts the schedule. Utilities that are unexpected. We had that with Golden West, old utility lines that were not part of existing plans. So it's very possible that Newland could be accelerated as well, right? I think it's important to remember that. And here's another lesson we learned from the very beginning. Initially, we talked about bridges, 1-stage bridges taking about a year, and 2-stage bridges, which remain open to traffic on one side, taking about 2 years. We've learned that that's not the case, right? Oftentimes there are those delays I mentioned. So to be on the conservative side, we want to, and the contractor's doing the same thing. They're being conservative in their approach, and so we want to make sure we don't end up with a difficult situation where we've said it's going to take 18 months or 12 months and it takes 18. So being as conservative as possible. I hope that helps.
All right, thank you. And Jerry.
Let's wait just a sec.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, Mr. Ike, if you could just contact us. I recognize your name. Just please contact us. Thank you.
All right, Gia. Okay, good. Andrew had another question, a follow-up question. Is there going to be a new traffic signal on Newland and Edinger and Newland and Heil?
Yeah,
So
that's going to be a technical team question.
yes, if we could have some help from the technical team. They know, they have the
believe
project
there's-
plans ready that they can look up for us. And
Yeah,
as you
there's
can imagine, there's a lot to know on this project.
There's already a signal at Newland and Edinger. That's not going to change. I don't know if we're going to be replacing it, but it's pretty far away from the bridge, so not positive. Newland and Heil, I do not believe. Oh, that is actually that does have a light as well. We wouldn't be touching that either. Again, in terms of changing it, it will remain there. We'll get our technical team to verify that. But if the signal is there now, it's going to be there in the future.
All right, thank you. Okay. All right, I think we're all caught up here. A few more questions here coming in. The McFadden Bridge has about 8 to 10 inches separation between lanes. I think this may be referring to the median.
Yeah, I think, what did our technical team say though?
They said, I don't know if they gave us a actual width for, I just see painted. Not sure if we have an actual width yet.
Well, we'll take a look and give that information to Ms. Spain. Sean asks us to explain why Warner Avenue Bridge is closed for 2 years. Warner is a massive bridge. It's one of the largest on the project, and it just takes that long to do the foundation work, right? To do all of the substructure work, which is the abutments or sides of the bridge. So there was a lot of pile driving, a lot of work to build the abutments, a lot of work to for the columns, that whole substructure. Have they gotten to, forgive me team, but have they gotten to false work on Warner yet? You recall?
Good question.
I don't know
believe so.
I don't think they have either. So it's a massive project. And ramps there as well, right? So you've got all those ramps, and they're having to work within the context of keeping the ramps open, right? That was a key to being able to move to a single stage in that, right? So you can still exit the freeway. Granted, you cannot cross over the freeway, but it's better than having those completely closed off, as we have in other situations where it's a single stage bridge and there are ramps. And Hung says, this is a question I think this is a concern, Hung, that maybe you can contact us about or email us about, regarding the wall and your request about the wall being extended from the Magnolia northbound on-ramp. Thank you. And we've got the contact information on the slide right there. So email us at 405project@octa.net or call us at one of the available phone numbers there. I do want to note with the phone numbers, this is a voicemail system. So we receive the calls, it goes to voicemail, and we pick up the voicemails on a daily basis. We're always looking at those. So you won't get a live person there. That doesn't mean we won't call you back. Of course we will. We strive to reach back to everybody in 24 hours or 48 at the latest. And we do our best. Sometimes we're getting crazy busy with the requests. So
yes, and thank you, Mark, for joining us. Thank you, Hung. I see some thank yous. We appreciate you attending. Back to the
Thank you.
question about the median in McFadden. Okay, so there is usually about a foot plus or minus for the center striping, but that's not considered a median. So
there's
there's
no actual median on McFadden, just double doubles, I would imagine. And I don't mean the hamburger.
darn.
Translate that for us. You know, and the thing about McFadden is there is a speed limit on McFadden, right? And that speed limit needs to be enforced. So I think if you have any concerns regarding speeding on that bridge, be sure to reach out to, I believe in this case, it would be the city of Westminster. I think the bridge itself is in their city, I think. But either one, Westminster or Huntington Beach, I would reach out to the police agencies in those two cities.
Yes. All right, Christine had a question and a question and comment. The lane to turn left from Magnolia onto Heil has a painted line separating opposite traffic. Many cars illegally spin U-turns to get onto the northbound 405 ramp or go to the opposite direction. Why was a median not considered? This appears to be an accident waiting to happen.
Yeah, I think that's a question for our technical team. So we'll seek a response from them.
And Sean, I think we had this question before. So Ward is anticipated to open winter 2022, I believe. All right.
I'm going to the winter 2022 could be early in the year or late in the year.
Oh, that's true.
So are we talking
One.
early 2022 team or late 2022?
In a few months or a year from now?
At least that's my take. I'm not sure when winter actually starts.
All right. And Sean has another question, another schedule related question. These are great questions. Thank you for asking. I'm sure several other people would like to know, when will crews shift traffic to the new Brookhurst Street Bridge? That is a two-phase bridge. And as soon as the new side of the bridge is ready, we can shift traffic, and we're getting some information from the team on that.
Yeah, our hope with Brookhurst is that this happens sometime within the first quarter of next year. So again, a very complex bridge, requires a lot of coordination and a lot of effort there. So hopefully sometime in early 2022, we will shift traffic.
Yes, and to confirm, what we mean by winter for Ward is late 2022. Thank you for clarifying, team. And Sean also asked, when will the Springdale Street Bridge open to traffic? That bridge just recently closed and is anticipated to open after 18 months of construction. So that would put us, I believe, in about summer 2023. And for Fairview, that bridge, I need to look up when Fairview Street is expected to fully open to traffic, which is a two-stage bridge.
I believe that's mid 2022.
Okay.
Taking a look right now. Yeah, mid 2022 for Fairview Phase 2.
All right. And just a few more questions. Sean also asked when Bolsa will open fully to traffic. And I believe we shared that information earlier in the presentation.
When Bolsa Chica?
Bolsa Avenue.
Yeah, but we can look that up pretty quickly. That's looking like later in 2022, so late 2022.
Yes.
The Bolsa Chica and Golden West bridges, very complex setup there. They intersect right there in front of the mall, and that is a very unusual design, right? Because you don't typically have bridges built that close together. So that is a complicated effort and takes some time. We did have some delays in the Golden West Bridge because of environmental issues, but that's progressing, as you can see, and work on Bolsa is going to be moving, is moving fairly quickly.
Yes, and from Sean as well, Westminster, when is that bridge expected to be open? And that is mid-2022 as well. And from Dan, when will they complete the Magnolia Bridge? Will there be, when they complete the Magnolia Bridge, will there be a right turn from northbound Magnolia to northbound 405? I think we will need
What
to
was
look
that?
that.
Yeah, let me take a look at that question again.
From Dan, when they complete the Magnolia Bridge, will there be a right turn from northbound Magnolia to northbound 405?
Let me pull that up on a map. To the earlier question about the being able to make a U-turn, we need to do some more research on that question. This was also a Magnolia question. And so give us some time and we'll include that. Any questions that we can't answer, and we will take those back and do further research on them. And then we will email responses to those, to the entire group who signed up for the webinar.
Yes. And for Sean, asking about Bolsa Chica bridges and Brookhurst bridges, Bolsa Chica is anticipated to open fully to traffic mid-December, so in a few weeks. And then Brookhurst, I believe Chris was correct when he mentioned completely open to traffic phase 2 in mid-2023.
So northbound Magnolia to the northbound 405 freeway. No, let's see here. I have an old image.
I think it actually might be yes. If I
I can see it now. It looks like it. So maybe yeah, it looks like there is an on-ramp there.
So right turn from northbound Magnolia to northbound 405 via the loop on-ramp.
I didn't think that ramp was closed.
All right. And next question that we got here. How long will we be able to use the carpool lanes for 2 people? So the carpool lanes that are out there today will be available to use, I believe, please correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, in 2023. I'm not sure at what point. We don't have a schedule for when they will be implementing the express lanes. So once the express lane, oh, go ahead.
I was just say that will be toward the end of the project, which is 2023, late 2023.
Mm-hmm. And then
But
once we
go ahead, once they're implemented,
once we open the express lanes, single riders will pay a toll for choosing to use those express lanes. If you have 2 or more during non-peak hours, they will be free for first 3.5 years of the opening, and then after that they will pay. And if you have 3 or more at any time, it will be free with transponders or an account. All of that information is on our website, and we do have a express lanes FAQ that's linked and is available on our website with that information again. And I'll just take a minute to pause for our translators.
I just want to mention, oh, there we go. I want to mention that yes, that ramp, the northbound loop on ramp, so going northbound on Magnolia and turning right and going onto the northbound freeway, that ramp is open. It's actually been open for some time. All ramps are open at Magnolia. Edmund asks, is the owl still nesting at Westminster? What Edmund is referring to is there was some delay in work on that bridge, delayed work on that bridge, and the ramps slowed us down a little bit. There was a nesting owl and we had to wait for the owl to leave. The owl has left the barn, as it were. No, the owl has left, yes.
Okay. And Sean had a question. Any traffic on Magnolia Street Bridge to left on northbound I-405?
Yeah, the answer to that question is no. So if you're going northbound on Magnolia, you are not able to turn left and go northbound on turn left and get on the northbound on ramp. You have to turn right and take that loop on ramp. Dan is saying at the light where the northbound 405 exits to northbound Magnolia. So Dan, your question is at that location, when they complete Magnolia, will there be a right turn from the northbound 405 to northbound Magnolia? If that's your question, will there be like a traffic signal there? The answer is no. And the technical team can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we heard that previously.
All right. Sean had a question about Heil. When will that pedestrian bridge open to traffic? And of course, we did mention that earlier, and that is anticipated to be open by the end of the month.
Sean has another question asking about the current bridge, Newland Street. So it's anticipated to close next week and then be demolished not long after that. So that would be the start of work effectively, the closure. And the bridge is anticipated to take 18 months to reconstruct. And again, it will be a wider bridge. It will have 2 additional lanes, 1 in each direction. We'll have sidewalks on both sides rather than just on the southbound side. And it will have bike lanes in both directions.
Okay. And Sean had a question about the buses. Does OCTA buses, do they use the Newland Street Bridge during Edinger Avenue Bridge closure? That's a really good question. I'm not sure where the buses were detoured during the Edinger closure, but the Edinger Bridge is now open. So if there were buses that use the Edinger Bridge before, they would go back to using that route again.
Yeah. I think Sean's next question here is about portable signs. Yes, portable signs should be going up soon if they aren't already, that indicate that the Newland Bridge will close on December 6th.
Yes. And I don't see any more questions. Let me hold a second for our translation. All right. We do also want to encourage everyone on the call or the Zoom meeting. Please sign up for our alerts, the bridge specific alerts, as Chris mentioned. You can sign up for Newland specifically, or a few bridges that you just want to know about, or all of them. And we send weekly alerts out Wednesdays that cover a lot of different activities, but if you just want to know about Newland specifically, please click the Newland box to sign up for our alerts. All right.
So let's see, Magnolia. Dan is saying that there is a light at northbound 405 exit to northbound Magnolia. Used it last week. I didn't think there was going to be a light there, but let me take a look. It makes sense that they wouldn't put a free turn in there, so that's likely my mistake. I think what I was thinking of was when you come off northbound, you can't. There's no signal to allow you to make a left turn onto southbound Magnolia. That's why I assumed there was no light there. So, but I stand corrected. We'll get the technical team's take on that. But also, Dan talks about there is a loop on ramp, which we've described from northbound Magnolia to the northbound 405, which eliminates the U-turn at Heil, but the loop on ramp was not open yet. So that surprises me. My understanding is that that ramp is open. There could be intermittent closures of it. But I'm looking at an aerial image that was taken in September of this year, I believe. Let's see. Yes, it was taken on September 8th of this year, and that ramp is open. It's not the final version of it, I think, but that ramp was open. So it could be that it was closed intermittently. The new final ramp, I think what we'll do is ask our technical team to verify for us when that new loop on ramp formally opens.
Okay, Sean had a question about when our next meeting for Brookhurst Bridge is, and we don't have a date for that. But I believe we do plan to update the community.
Yeah, that's our transition from phase 1 to phase 2. So yes, we will have another neighborhood meeting in anticipation of that.
And that information, if you don't live close by to the Brookhurst Bridge, is going to be available on our website. So stay tuned for that. And we don't have any dates on exactly when the Harbor Boulevard undercrossing will be complete. But again, please sign up for our alerts so you can stay up to date. And Dan, thank you for bearing with us. We appreciate you asking your questions. You're certainly not the only one, I'm sure, that has those questions. So we appreciate it. And with that, I believe we have one more poll that we would like to do. And so we'll put that up. And while you're taking the poll, we would like to know, did this work for you? What language did you listen into for this meeting? And thank you again for everyone attending, asking your questions. We really appreciate it. We have the contact slide up still. Just a reminder that the recording will be available in the next 24 hours at octa.net/405 improvement. Thank you for taking our polls.
So what we're hearing from the technical team about the Magnolia on-ramp and the off-ramp. So there is a signal there, but the signal will be eliminated in the final configuration there. So presumably that means there will be a stop sign, because you can't, we wouldn't allow just a free right turn off the ramp with cross traffic coming. I'm trying to get the harbor information.
Okay.
I believe we had it at some point.
And before we completely wrap up, thank you for taking our polls. Thank you very much. Sean had one last question. I believe we did mention this. Why is the Newland Street Bridge, taking 2 nights to demolish when it's the smallest bridge. It might not be the smallest, but it is a little bit complicated because of the 2 channels that are underneath. So that's why, and most of our bridges, if not all of them so far, have been at least 2 nights of demolition. So that is pretty standard so far. All right.
So the harbor undercrossing, it looks like middle of next year. There's also a new on-ramp structure for southbound harbor on-ramp. So if you're taking southbound harbor to the southbound 405, there is a new structure that's going to be constructed there. And that is anticipated to open in late summer of 2022. So there's still some work to do at harbor.
And we just had a ramp that just opened. Did you mention that for harbor?
I did not. Oh, the southbound straight on ramp from northbound harbor just reopened.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, I think we are all caught up. If there aren't any more questions, thank you very, very much. We really appreciate your time, and thank you to everyone that joined us for Gia's interpretation as well. And if you have any further questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us, please. And I think that'll do it for us.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. Thank you so much.